Alright, time for a new little video. So, what we're doing today is universal powder, and those are going to go into the 9mm Makarov shells. Now these had been 9mm Luger. Of course they've been decapped, full length resized, reprimed. The mouth has been expanded to accept the bullet. And so what I need to do is put some of this here powder. It's universal. It's what I use for pistols and shotguns. It goes down into here. It's my powder measure. I think it's an old Redding. It works really well. I know I don't have a top for it, although I probably should. Maybe I'll make a wood one on the lathe one day. I don't know. So anyway, up there. Not to be confused with the 4895. Okay. So now we have to set to 4 grains. Now I don't know what I'm set to right now on this, and I can't trust it because I have no flipping idea. So I don't know if it's zeroed out. I don't know where it's at. So we're going to take a measure. So I have my scale set up for 4 grains. So we're at 0, 0, and 4. So it's 4 grains. And we're just going to do a test. Now that looks like it could be somewhere in the neighborhood. That's actually, believe it or not, a little heavy. Now it says 4, but even though it says 4, that really doesn't mean anything. Test it again, and you can't trust that one because it's actually not measured, because that was actually measured on the left throw of the handle. So once again, heavy, dial it down a little. So you're really not talking about much powder. 4 grains of universal powder is all it takes in order to perfectly lob this projectile out with enough force like I say, with enough force to get us there. That's actually this 0.2. I'm messing up. Okay, so let's start over. We're going to put that guy to 0. We're going to put this to 4. Because evidently I was doing the point, and that's not what I'm supposed to do. So let's open this baby up. Like I say, first throw is no good. I want 4 grains. And that's heavy, so we dial it back. Once again, you can't trust that. That's a little heavy. Let's dial it back a little more. And that's good enough for this guy. I'll put my fingers on it so I can't rotate, and I'll lock it in place. And then we're going to test it again. Now I do have a digital scale right here, but to be quite honest, I don't think it's as accurate as a beam scale. So let's test again. I say toss that because you can't trust it. We're a little heavy. So only moving just a little bit. Once again, toss it. You want to get the accurate set. That's what you got to do. Just a little heavy. Because we're only playing with just a little tiny bit right here. Not much. But once I'm set, I'm set. And I do need to check every once in a while. That's nice. That's good. It's just a little heavier. If it's not hot enough, it will not operate the slide and the magazine properly. It just will not. And then having a kick to it. And there she blows. Good enough for this guy. Test it again. That doesn't look right. It's looking a little light. Could be inconsistent. Now we need to increase volume a little. Yeah, it's touchy. You need to get to where you need to be. So that's why we do this. We want to make sure we get accurate reading. What is going on? Normally it's not this difficult. And right in the ballpark. It's just wanting to be a pain in the ass. Once I got it set though, it's set. That's really weird. It's got to be when I lock it down. That should be good. It's like I'm not finding that medium. Damn thing. You know, we're playing with points of grains here. I mean, it's not much. The only thing I can figure is they must have been doing too much movement back and forth. There we go. Let's check it again. Don't want to overcharge, don't want to undercharge. Right in the neighborhood. Try it again. Right in there. Good enough. Okay, so this is now what we do. We'll take some of our brass, and we're just going to do one. Okay, so we'll do that in a second. So we're going to take the expander die out, and we are going to put in a seating die. Arm down. This runs all the way in to stop. Okay, that's set. Now we take a piece of brass, stick it on the bottom and fill it. So nifty stuff. I'll go ahead and set this in, and what I'll do is I'll fill up this entire tray full of them before I go to this. So that just goes on here like so, and then we're going to press it up. and that is not good. But it does happen. So I'm going to pull that out. Either that or run it in. There we go. Okay, so set back too far. I know kind of half-assed where I want to have it, so that's what I'm doing. So now I want to check overall length. And with the digital, we're going to zero it out. Get an overall length right here, 0.996. And my nifty little Lee information here gives me a chart, and I want 982. So I need to crank it in just a hair. Then we check it again. 985. They say maximum 982. .975, and that works. So that is a complete cartridge. So now I need to go ahead and bag them when I'm done with them. So now that that's set, I can basically just go like this. I can actually start loading the tray, but I go like so. It goes on, a new bullet goes in. But my bullets are where? They're out there next to the lead, because I still got the pot going. So anyway, so what I can do now, I can put this beam scale up because I don't need it anymore. And I can move my tray in closer. That way it's easier for me to work with. Get my little box of goodies right over here. And I do have a few of these casings that were bad. They had cracks. All the bad ones were aluminum. Every single one of them. Now, that's not to say that all the aluminum casings were bad. They're not. It's just all the ones that had a failure were aluminum. And the reason was probably that they were damaged to start with. When I picked them up, sometimes, well, I shouldn't say sometimes, quite often they're damaged before I pick them up, and then I straighten the necks of them out a little bit, so to speak, the opening, or mouth, whatever you want to call it, and so I straighten them out and I trim them, and a lot of that damage gets trimmed off. Now, I do lose a few in the trimming process. I obviously lost some of them in the expanding process. I also lose a few in the decapping, full-length resizing process. So I do lose some, but they're almost always the aluminum. And then once the aluminums are actually fired, most of those cases are no longer any good. They're just usually damaged to the point where you can't use them again. Haven't had any failures with the handgun or anything like that. But it just seems that the aluminum casings can't expand enough to be able to stand the stress. So a lot of them end up blowing out, and in a way I don't really have a problem with that, because it's like I got another shot out of it, right? You know, will it erode the mouth of the you know, or the chamber over time? I don't know. I don't think so. And part of the reason I would say that is, I mean, if you think back on black powder and you're used to using black powder, you know, is that going to be something that it's going to be problematic in that area? No. I mean, these cases really, they just hold everything together for convenience more than anything else. So you know, when they go in, I mean, they're supposed to sit to a certain depth and you know, size, and hold a certain bullet and a certain powder charge and the primer, but all the it basically just holds all the components together for convenience. So you know, if a case blows out now and again, I don't get all that alarmed by it. And the aluminum ones, I kind of expect to just use them once. And you know, but somebody else already used them once. They're actually shot twice. You know, will I end up regretting it at some point? I don't know. I don't think so. Might I don't know. You know, it remains to be seen. So hopefully I will never see it. And I'm not loading for anybody else. I'm just loading for myself. So, you know, when I'm loading up 4 grains of powder, or showing you what I do, I'm just documenting what I do. And then if anybody else wants to copy what I'm doing, you know, you do that at your own risk, your own expense. I'm just simply showing you what I do. And agree, disagree, follow, don't follow, whatever, it doesn't make any difference to me. I found what I do to work. So, you know, and I did a lot of study on it before I started doing any of it. And the load that I worked up to 4 grains, I started out at the bottom load and then worked up. And when I got to a point where I had good function of my firearm and the best accuracy, then I stopped. And I will say that these loads that I make are more accurate than my gun shoots, far more accurate with these loads than with any other load I've ever shot. And I've shot a lot of different kinds, so very happy with these.